Hi everyone, welcome to We Are Valiant's Sharathon event. My name's Jewel and this is John and we're going to be your co-hosts for tonight. So We Are Valiant is a nonprofit organization that sponsors orphaned and homeless children worldwide. And right now we're currently working with children in the Philippines. Tonight we're going to give you guys a chance to learn more about our team members, hear from the kids themselves, which is the most exciting part, and then we're going to have a little giveaway. So stick around.
Yeah, and I just want to personally welcome all of you to this live. I think one of the biggest questions we get about We Are Valiant is, what is We Are Valiant? What do you guys do? Who runs We Are Valiant? And so I hope a lot of those questions will be answered. You're going to get to meet some of the team members. And like Jules said earlier, we are so excited to actually have some live conversation with our Philippines kids and partners, as well as some of our team members that couldn't be here. So they're actually going to be joining us on this screen, and that's what we have this set up. So let's begin with our first interview. We're going to go ahead and be interviewing Megan, our communications manager, and Alicia, who is one of our marketing interns. And they're going to tell us a little bit about our Sharathon event that we just did. So come on in, girls, let's go. And we're going to go ahead and get started. We just did a Sharathon event with them, and we're going to ask them a couple questions.
Okay, so the first question for both you guys is, why did you join We Are Valiant?
So for me, I joined We Are Valiant, one, because it was required for an internship at school, but two, I chose We Are Valiant because it's really close to my heart. When I was younger, my grandma always said to give back, and she would actually take us to Mexico, and we would have to donate to the kids, and it was just so amazing to see the kids really excited and happy that we got to give them toys and clothes. So the fact that there's something like this, We Are Valiant, where we can give back, it really just touched my heart, and that's why I joined.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I am huge into the communication field. I love studying it, and there was an opening at We Are Valiant for a communications manager, and so that's why I got to join. It was something I'm passionate about. And as a kid, actually, I went to Guatemala and El Salvador and got to just meet kids down there and do some missions work. And so it's close to my heart, and I love the mission behind We Are Valiant, and that's why I joined.
Well, we are so happy to have you guys. You've done so much for We Are Valiant this semester. But Megan, tell us a little bit about tonight. We had an event. It's called a Sharathon event. So Megan, what was the goal of this Sharathon event?
Yes, we've had so many goals. We want to get the word out about We Are Valiant and what we're doing here, what we're doing for these kids. I'm so excited we get to show you what they look like, and you get to meet them later on. But really, our goal is to get 30 subscribers, just 30 subscribers, to donate every month and give some hope and much-needed care to our kids.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think you guys have done a really great job with this event. So thank you for all of that. I'm going to ask Alicia, what was your favorite part of the Sharathon?
My favorite part of the Sharathon was just all of us coming together, because we usually meet virtually through Zoom. So it was so amazing to see everyone come together just to share like one mission, one goal. And we all got to share ideas on, what we're saying about the Sharathon and getting the word out there and spreading the word about We Are Valiant, because technically we're still sort of new. So it was awesome to pour out to people who haven't heard about us.
Yeah, and I love that you mentioned that. A lot of people don't really know exactly what we do or what events like these can do. And so, Megan, how does an event like today help the kids in the Philippines?
Yeah, so not only does it spread the word to all of you guys, but it gives you the opportunity to do something and to help these kids. By subscribing, by donating, you're able to provide education, caregiving support, counseling services, and housing, and so many more things to these kids in the Philippines. So this event was really here to get you involved and to help these kids by giving them care every single month.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that. So Alicia, what is one reason why someone should sponsor a child?
Someone should sponsor a child because here in the U.S., we are so fortunate and we are so blessed to have amazing things. And, we buy a cup of coffee and it's $5, but $5 goes a long way in the Philippines. So if we can just spread some love to the Philippines and donate and help these children out, I think that it's amazing. And it's such a great opportunity that we get to do that.
Yeah, well, Megan and Alicia, thank you so much for joining us today and telling us about the Sharathon event. So come and join us again sometime, okay?
Yeah, thank you guys.
We're so excited to kind of move on to this next part, and I'll let you introduce, Jewel, what we're doing now.
Okay, so now I'm actually going to be interviewing John. He's our founder of We Are Valiant. So we're going to give you guys a chance to hear a little bit about his story and why he started this organization.
Yeah, so last year in December of 2020, basically after COVID hit, my cousin Tegan and I, who Tegan couldn't join us for this live event, but he is in Florida supporting and is a huge part of why We Are Valiant became a thing. We decided to launch We Are Valiant, but a lot of it was based on telling our own story, And in that event last year, I kind of shared a little bit, just a tiny, tiny bit about my past. But we thought, at least for this event, it would be kind of appropriate to share a little bit more, because I know I always times get a lot of questions about that. I get a lot of questions like, where were you born? Exactly, tell me who you are. And so I wanted to, though, relate a little bit of my story to why We Are Valiant and what we do with We Are Valiant is so important for my heart, but also for the kids. So one of the biggest things that we do with We Are Valiant is education. And, education for We Are Valiant costs how much? $25, I believe,
yeah,
right?
It's $25.
Yeah, so $25. If you think about it, what do we do with $25? Joel, what do you do?
Honestly, I feel like a trip to Target is $25.
A trip to
if not
Target. I
more.
mean, some people's coffee, monthly budget, maybe a lot more than that. But I remember when I was a child in Colombia, education wasn't something that I thought about. So some of my early memories were actually, being 5, 6, 7, and I didn't really even remember going to school to learn. And you probably wonder why. I actually do remember going to school, but school for me wasn't an experience that maybe for many people that think about what school is, it wasn't that for me. One of the most vivid images I have of school was I had this little friend. I think we were probably 5 or 6. I mean, we were young. I'm gonna say at least 6. And we were best friends. I believe we were kind of in that first grade. They were trying to teach us how to read. I remember he was just my best friend. I still don't know his name, honestly. And I wish I could remember his name because he was my little best friend. And one day, I remember we were at school in Bogota, Colombia. It's a public school, so it's probably nothing like a lot of us Americans think of schools like. I mean, we're kind of in cement and dirt, and I remember lots of kids running around. There's not a lot of supervision, and I remember this group of older kids came and took us up the top of this basically little cliff that we had at school. And I remember being so afraid. I was 6, and I was what's gonna happen? This was not a fun thing. And they were basically choosing if my friend or me was gonna be thrown off the cliff. And I remember being 6 years old, and I saw my little 6-year-old friend, Colombian little friend, being thrown off that cliff. And it's something that I don't go into a lot, because when you see death at that young age, it really impacts you. So school, for me, as a 6-year-old Colombian boy, equated seeing my friend die in front of me. And that's really tough. I mean, here in America, we think education is the way for a child to get success, right? But for a 6-year-old Colombian little boy, it was losing his friend and seeing my friend being thrown off that cliff, and he died that day. I remember for a long time after that, no one could really get me to go to school. I didn't want to go to school. And there was times where they would try to put me to school, and I would beg, please don't let me go to school, because I didn't feel safe. So with We Are Valiant, we are providing education.
Yeah, and I was going to ask, how does what We Are Valiant does for our kids in the Philippines prevent things like that from happening?
Yeah, and our education is in a safe environment, all of the kids that we are working with are in homes. They're in, our partners are not just providing education, but they're providing these safe places for them to actually not only see school as an opportunity to grow, maybe achieve their dreams, but make sure that they're protected and they are safe, And I think the only other story that I wanted to share kind of along those lines is another thing with We Are Valiant that we do is, shelter. And, we do provide homes for these kids, and we try to give towards that. And, we, all in American, probably can think of okay, why it's important to, have some place to call your own. But I think also the fact of who is there to care for you,
Like caregivers are so important because, you can be in a good home, but if no one's there to take care of you, then what?
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember, a lot of my childhood, there were people in my life that I knew were there, that they were supposed to provide that care, right? But so much of my life, I felt like I wasn't supposed to be there. I was like, why am I even living? And there was this one time I was, again, at this point, I was probably 8 years old. And I remember being at a point in my life where, I still to this day, sometimes I talk with people about this and, can an 8-year-old actually feel emotion? Can they think through this? And yeah, I remember being 8 and actually thinking through my life and being I don't even know if I want to keep on living because my situation was so hard. But I think the hardest part about it was that I just really felt like no one really loved me. There wasn't actually anyone there that actually cared for me, I was 8, and that day I was alone in this house that I was living, and I was able to go up to the top of this house. And in Colombia, much of third world countries and other countries outside of the U.S., the roofs, Jewel, are actually flat. Oh. They're not roofs with
they're not the pitched
right
roofs,
right you'd fall here in America if you try. But in those in countries like Colombia, they're called terrazas, right? So they're flat, and you're able to actually be up there, and you're a lot of people hang their clothes up there, but it's kind of scary because if you go up to the edge, you could literally just
jump
go
right
off, jump right off. And I remember this one building that I was in was fairly tall. I don't know exactly. It's hard to remember when you're 8. I know it was at least 3 floors up there, maybe 4. And I remember I went up to the edge. Now, to this day, as an adult, I don't like heights. I'm scared of heights. Heights and I do not do good with each other. But as an 8-year-old kid, I went up to that edge, and I was thinking about jumping. And, I'm not trying to share the story to be oh, no, I can't believe you were 8 years old and your life was so bad that you were thinking about jumping off a roof, right? But that's the reality of some children's lives. Some of the kids that we get to work with We Are Valiant, they've come from situations like that. And I remember to this day being 8 years old and just thinking, if I jump right now, Jewel, I could die on impact, or if I die and if I jump at the right moment, a car will hit me and I will make sure I'll die. And I was 8 years old because that's the terrible situation I was in, Yeah. So thinking through that, I think the caregiving, the love that we at We Are Valiant believe is so important in a child's life. When I got adopted, my mom and dad, Jim and Patty Lou, they saved me, they rescued me in every way possible. But I think one of the greatest ways that they rescued me is that for the first time ever, I do feel like there was 2 people in my life that truly loved me and that actually cared about me as a kid, And I can only imagine, how important that is for anyone, but also for children who are in situations like We Are Valiant.
Yeah, and I think John's heart behind We Are Valiant is what makes, this is why I joined this organization, is because he went through all of that, but now God obviously has used that because now he's giving back to kids just like this to make sure that they're not in those same situations and that they have people who care about them and people and places where they're cared for and provided for. So I just love that you shared that with all of us and that everyone on the live can hear that story from you. So thank you so much.
Of course, yeah. And again, I am so excited to, be a little bit more vocal about my past, about why We Are Valiant is such an important part of my life. And so on that note, I think I'm so excited about what We Are Valiant is doing because one of the things that we have done, we're about to get them on the screen right now, actually, is this year in 2021, we were able to establish our Global Relations and Development department. And, when We're Valiant first started, a huge thing about it was that I felt like Tegan and I were doing like a lot. I was doing like almost everything that dealt with Philippines and partners, and we had an incredible team of board members who truly were just fantastic, that they really cared about, like our mission and our goals. But this year, we've been able to actually work with managers who have actually run this kind of program for us. And so I want to quickly introduce you guys here to Sarah and Tina, and they are part of our global relations and development group. They're actually our managers for We Are Valiant. And so we are so excited to ask them some questions. And I believe, Jewel, you have the first question for Sarah.
Yes, I do. So, Sarah, our first question for you is, what exactly does the Global Relations Department do?
Yeah, so the Global Relations and Development Department works closely with our partners, Brand New Day and Mercy House, and the kids at each of those places. We get to work closely with them to build relationships, to figure out what best way we can bring value to them in their lives. And we do that on a monthly basis. Tina and I connect with the partners and kids, and we really work and strive to build the relationships and share that with our donors and We Are Valiant as an organization.
Yeah, and I know that you and Tina just like do such an incredible job working with our partners. I'm always so grateful to hear what you both are doing. So Tina, I know you're also on the call, and we're gonna see you on the screen now when you speak, but can you tell us a little bit about the successes that we've had this year in this global relations and development?
Yeah, definitely. So we've had several successes. We started Zoom calls last year, but to share more about our lives and get to know each other a bit more, we started sharing vlogs between the kids, Jello, Nesta, and May, and also with a few We Are Valiant volunteers. There are 2 to 3 minute videos where we talk about our hobbies, best childhood memories, places we love, and we've also done how-to videos for surfing and bodybuilding too. We've also done art journals, and we've sponsored birthday parties and even started a kids newsletter to share more about their lives with the volunteers, something we want to bring to donors soon too.
That's amazing, Tina. And I think one of the coolest things is you guys may be wondering, like, okay, why are Sarah and like Tina like on a screen and Jewel and I are here? It's like, We Are Valiant is made up of volunteers that are not just in San Diego. They are in San Diego, but like Sarah is actually out of state in Montana, I believe, right?
Yeah, I
Montana.
think so.
And then Tina is up in like a little bit more like the LA area. So Tina, we have a second question for you.
Yes, we do. So Tina, we wanted to hear a little bit about the current projects that are being worked on.
Yeah, we're working on something called the Big Siblings program, where each wave child will be matched with one of our We Are Valiant volunteers to have a big sister or big brother. And they'll get to do activities together, which include the Zoom calls, art journals, and we'll try to match interest and interests. We've also started something called the Independent Living Fund. So if a child leaves Brand New Day or Mercy House and they're interested in finding a job or pursuing higher education, we really want to be able to support them in that journey, whatever they choose. In addition, we're also preparing to hopefully take on additional kids early next year, which we're really excited about.
Yeah, and I'm very excited about that. Did you have something else you want to say about that? Oh, all right. So we're getting ahead. So Sarah, one of the things that we also wanted to ask you, Sarah, is what is the best part about being in this department, being a part of We Are Valiant, Sarah?
I absolutely love the connections that I've been able to make with our partners, Aaron and Nikki, and Jello, Nesto, and May. It is something really special to me to be able to actually connect with the people that you're sponsoring. A lot of people never really get that one-on-one relationship, and I think it's absolutely an honor to be able to work closely with them. It's also humbling to be able to see their ministries and hear from them what they're doing to support these kids and help them. And it's really cool for me to be able to represent We Are Valiant in that capacity.
Well, Sarah and Tina, I can't tell you guys enough like how much of a joy it is to work with you guys. Thank you for all that you do. And again, like this just shows you the people behind We Are Valiant that are volunteering many hours a week to make We Are Valiant successful. So do you want to let everyone know what we're about to do?
Okay, guys, so this is probably the most exciting part of our Sharathon that we told you guys about. We're actually going to go live to the Philippines right now and get to talk to some of the kids.
Yeah, so I think I already hear one of our Filipino partners. Obviously, it is actually Friday morning in the Philippines. And so I think Aaron and May are on. So Aaron and May, if you guys want to show, like, say hello to me, it'd be awesome to see you guys. So Aaron, May, I think I heard you. Are you guys there?
Hi, yeah, good evening.
Hey, Aaron, May, it's so good to see you guys. Yes. Well, so I'm gonna go ahead and ask you a first question. Aaron, how did Brand New Day begin? Like, could you tell me a little bit about Brand New Day, the organization you've created, and what is the mission of Brand New Day?
Well, Brand New Day started in about 2009 when I came to the Philippines as a missionary, and I met a couple of Filipino young women named Krista and Murphy, and we just realized right away we all three had a passion to reach out to street kids. I didn't know the language yet; they of course did because they're Filipino, but we just started going to the street and talking to kids that we saw there, and we didn't really necessarily see the big picture of what it would eventually become, but we just did, street outreaches. We started doing a regular thing like a sidewalk Sunday school type of thing, just to gather kids and get to know them and try to figure out ways we could help them. And then eventually started having scholarships, trying to help the family, help the child. And then eventually, a few years later, we realized a lot of the kids needed a home also to live in. So we started a shelter in 2014, and so that continues till today. We have a boys' home and a girls' home for ages 10 to 17. So our mission is to reach out to street children and empower them through shelter education and family reconciliation. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah, that's awesome to see how much it's grown from that point where you started it. Another question for you is, what are some obstacles that have gotten in the way for Brand New Day? And then has COVID had an impact on street ministry for you guys?
Yeah, so I think one of the hardest things we face, a lot of the kids that come to us have come straight from the street. They've lived on the street for sometimes several years, maybe their whole life. And so some of them, I mean, not all, but some of them have developed, addictive lifestyles or have gotten into things that are hard to just let go right away when they come to the shelter, even though they want to change. A lot of times it's really hard for them. So, we've had different challenges with that because, it has to be the child's decision to want to change and want to grow. So that's probably the hardest thing that we face. And then as far as COVID, it's been hard because the government doesn't really allow any gatherings, especially public gatherings. So we haven't been able to do any formal outreaches. Some of my partners and staff have gone to the street to talk to kids, but we can't, gather them right now. So it's been a little bit of a downer because that's kind of one of the energizing parts of our ministry is to go out and reach the kids. But the Lord's given us. We've gotten a lot of more time with the kids that we have in the shelter during this time, and so that's actually been a good thing with COVID. Is we've had more time to invest in them. They're all still at home, so it's made it a little bit harder for us, but also great because we've had more time.
Amazing. Wow, well, Aaron, thank you so much for sharing all that. And we see May. May, it's Kuya John. Hello, it's so good to see you. I know you just hear my voice because, the camera's kind of not working, but I am here. May, I have loved seeing your drawings. Guys, she is an artist. So what are some of your favorite things to draw, May?
My favorite things to draw is anime. Like like Naruto and Stitch. Yeah.
Yes, anime. Yeah, I've seen some of your drawings and they're amazing.
Yeah, they are. They're really great. That kind of goes into the next question, May. In your free time, what are your favorite cartoons or anime to watch?
My favorite things to watch is anime like Demon Slayer, Naruto Shippuden, and
A lot of us.
I love it. Well, hey guys, if there are any anime fans out there, you know that one of our We Are Valiant kids loves anime and draws anime. So come on, like how could you not support May? So, okay, well, we also have on the call Mercy House. And so Nikki and Jello Nesto, I believe, are on. So if you guys want to say hello, we'd love to see you guys. Are you guys there? Hello, can you guys hear us? Hey! Oh, and
Hey.
Anthony joined us too. Look at them. They have their We Are Valiant merch. I love it.
Oh, you guys are awesome.
Nikki and Anthony, we love you guys so much, and we have been working with you and Aaron all this year. But Nikki or Anthony, I don't know, either one, both of you, can you tell us a little bit about how Mercy House began? And how long has it been around? Tell us a little bit about the history of Mercy House.
Sure. So Mercy House began back in 2013. My husband Anthony and I had lived in the U.S. in North Carolina. We had adopted 4 sons from the Philippines to North Carolina. And every time we would visit to meet our new son, there was just something about this place that I just never wanted to leave the Philippines. I just fell in love with the country. And so 2013, we had completed those adoptions, and it was just a really good time in the life of our family to sell everything. We sold our house, our cars, everything basically, and came over here not really sure exactly what we were supposed to be doing, so we volunteered in orphanages. And through volunteering in orphanages, we kept meeting these street kids on our way to and from these homes where we were volunteering. And those young, it was boys for the most part. The street kids that we encountered were boys. There were a few girls on the street that we met, but those boys just really grabbed our hearts. And so Anthony and I just sat together one day at a pizza place and said, what if we opened a home to start, helping these kids to have a place to live, a place to be safe and clean and go to school. And, we really didn't know exactly what we were doing. We called the Department of Social Welfare and said, we want to do this. We want to get licensed. Can you help us? And they did. And so here we are 8 years later. That's how Mercy House was born.
That's so cool. Your commitment to doing that is amazing. Another question for you is, how many kids does Mercy House currently take care of? And then what activities or classes do the kids take right now?
So right now we have 16 boys in our home. Activities and classes, they range from, we have, Nesto here is our highest in education. He's in grade 11 right now, nearing the end of grade 11. The school year is a little different than it is in other places. So he will be a senior pretty soon. And then Jello has just graduated from our Alternative Learning Systems elementary program, which is like a GED would be in the US. And he's ready to take the next level of that. And in another year or so, he will also be able to enter grade 11. So a big part of our ministry here is a lot of times when the boys come to us from the street, they may not have even finished kindergarten or grade 1. And here in the Philippines, they don't just put you in school by whatever age you are. You have to go through the grades, kindergarten, first, second, third. So this alternative learning program helps to accelerate that for somebody who's older when they come off the street. And so we've got lots of different things going on. We have music classes here. We have staff who teaches them technology. We have a lot of different classes going on here at Mercy House. We're all about education. That's our really big focus, because here in the Philippines, that's the key. That's the key to getting out of the poverty cycle, is having education.
And Nikki, I couldn't agree more with you on that. Like, education is so important. And so, Anthony, you're on the call. I would love. Is there anything you would like to add to what Nikki has said before we get to hear from Nesto and Jello?
Anything you want to add?
Oh, well, I'm just happy to be able to talk English again. So, anyways, yeah, I'm just so grateful for what you guys are doing. I mean, to inspire us here in the Philippines, just to support us. It's amazing. It's comforting that the Lord uses so many people. I mean, globally that supports His ministry. I mean, it's all about Him, not us. We're just the leg and whatever eyes, I guess. But anyways, I just want to say thank you to all of you. I haven't met all of you personally. Maybe someday, when I take a vacation to San Diego, we could go surfing. Yay.
Yes.
Yes, let's do it. Surfing and bodybuilding and everything. I love it. Well, let's talk to the boys. Jewel, do you want to ask the first question?
Okay, so my first question is for Jello. How old were you when Mercy House took you in?
12 years old.
Wow.
Wow. And so Jello, when you were brought into Mercy House, I mean, you were young, but can you tell us a little bit about what your life looked like when you were what was a normal day when you were on the streets before Mercy House?
Nangingi ako ng pera.
So he was begging for money.
And pupunta ako sa construction site. Magnanakaw ako dun ng mga stuff nila.
And then he would go to construction sites and steal some equipment to sell.
Naniningat din ako ng solvent.
He would try to get money to get vices. Over here it's called solvent. Some form of drug.
To sniff, yeah, sniffing
Yes.
solvent.
Wow. Well, Jello, I know that you're also now like a big basketball player, right? So is basketball your favorite sport? Do you enjoy doing that? Or what are some of the other things you love to do now at Mercy House?
Basketball.
Basketball. Okay, very good. All right. Well, Nesto.
I could answer that. I mean, he probably doesn't say it, but he's actually become a pretty good piano player.
Yes, he has.
So he's doing a lot of piano now, so which is great. Played in worship last week, so which is awesome.
That's really cool. I actually play the piano too, and it's a hard instrument to learn, so good job.
And Sarah too, I think.
Yeah, I have a question for Nesto. So, who is your closest friend at Mercy House?
My closest friend is Dick.
Wow. So wait, why is he your closest friend?
Because he's cute and very special. And funny.
Funny. Yay. Is Kuya John funny? I'm funny, right? Yeah, I like to be funny. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right. And Nesto. So what do you dream of becoming when you grow up? I mean, we heard that you're almost done with high school. So what do you dream? What is your dream job? Like, what are you hoping to do?
There's two things I want to do. I want to be a pilot or be aeronautics.
Wow. Well, you know what? If you become a pilot, I would love to fly a plane with you. All right? That's amazing. Right. Well, is there anything else that you guys would like to share? I mean, it's been amazing to have you guys. And, Nesto, Jello, May, I think you're still on the call. I want to let you guys know We Are Valiant loves you. Everyone watching right now, like your donations, your subscriptions to our, organization is helping children like Nesto, Jello, May, have education, have incredible caregiving, like Nikki, Anthony, Aaron, and all their staff. And we are just so extremely grateful for all of you. Philippines, we love you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. I can't wait to see you. Kuya John says bye, okay? Bye, guys.
Bye.
Love you guys. Love you. All right, so, now that you got to hear a little bit about, like, the Philippines and got to meet our incredible kids and partners, we really wanted to do this like a live thing to show you that it's not just like a scripted thing. We felt like a video just wasn't as personal, and so we decided to do a live thing. So thank you for bearing with us a little bit with our technology, a little bit of our TV and the mics and situations. But we're so excited about moving here to our next part, which is just letting you know a little bit about, again, we started with this whole event with a Sharathon event. But the purpose of that Sharathon event was to tell you about our Waves subscriptions and why subscriptions are so important to help us meet our donation goals. And so at this time, Megan, our communications manager, is going to join us again, and Corey Johnson, our finance manager, and they're going to tell us a little bit about these Waves subscriptions. So I'll let Jewel begin with the first question.
Yeah, okay. Hi, guys.
Hello.
So my first question is for Corey. Why has Wave chosen the current amounts for each category on our donation tab?
Yes, so each category is basically determined by the needs of our kids. So they're a little more rounded just to make them easier to understand, and the needs of each kid obviously changes from person to person. But for example, we have our $25 donation, which goes towards education. So that's just about the amount that we need to support the education of our kids. And we do that for each category and each need that our kids have.
Perfect.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
awesome.
Whoa, I'm so sorry. I just lost my place there. But
No, fun.
yeah, Corey, like, thank you for telling us about the subscriptions there. So, you know, on a follow-up question to that is like, how much of those donations, you know, like, I mean, today we were calling people and we were saying, hey, could you give us $25 and $50 a month? Like, how much of those $25, $50 actually go to the kids that we sponsor?
We follow something called the 80-20 rule, which is just a rule followed by healthy nonprofits, and it's a ratio of the money that we get and how much money we give to our operations fund and how much money we can give to our missions, which is our kids. And that's 80-20. So we take about 20% to our operations, and the other 80% goes towards our missions and our kids. Now that's kind of an average. That's what a lot of larger nonprofits do. But thankfully we have incredible volunteers, and our partners make all of this possible. And our expenses aren't very high, not to get into the nitty-gritties, but we actually donate about 95% of the income we're taking in to our kids. So not an 80-20, but 95-5 right now, which is incredible, and we want to continue that for as long as we can.
95 is pretty good. So I'm going to put you on the spot here. I don't know if there's any other math people. So if I give $25, what's like 95 of that?
I have no idea.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's figure it out. I don't know. Like, that's like $23?
Here, I got you.
23.50. So on the spot, any math nerd. So again, like,
It's $23.75.
$23.75. I was pretty close there. But
You were.
guys, again, like our goal, like kind of what Corey was saying, is that we want as much of that money to go to the kids, whether that goes in that month that you donate, or as we are establishing more monthly goals, and you know, we're trying to get like 6 months ahead with donations, but these subscriptions are so vitally important. So that kind of leads us to some questions for Megan.
Yeah, okay. So Megan, tell us a little bit about the Wave subscriptions. Like, how can they be accessed?
Yeah, so you can access them a couple different ways. The easiest is through our website. It's just wearevaliant.org. Very straightforward and easy. Right when you log in, it's going to have a big blue button to give now, and that's the easiest way to do it. You're on Instagram right now, and as much as we want you to stay on the live, if you want to click out and donate, we'll forgive you. And you can just go right to the bio, click the link, and it will send you right there.
Well, that is amazing, and I love that you mentioned, like, you can go to the website. That's an easy way to access it. On our Instagram, you could actually click the little link tree, and that takes you. It's a fast process. But Megan, tell us a little bit about, like, why are we doing these subscription donations, these monthly subscriptions? Why is a $25 subscription potentially better than just a one-time, you know, $75 donation? Why are one-time donations not as good as subscriptions?
Yeah, so I think it's the same reason why we take the free trial of Netflix and then stay on for the rest of how many years now? Like 5 probably. It's the same reason. We want you to be giving every month, and it gets taken right out of your account. You don't even see it gone, and you're donating every single month, and that's something that we can count on to give to our kids.
Yeah, it really speaks into kind of the longevity, and I'm able to provide that. Corey, were you going to mention something about that?
Yeah, to add on to that, you heard earlier from Tina that we're starting to develop a trust for when our kids go out of their homes and into college and into their careers. And having consistent monthly income through subscriptions really helps the insiders, the money people, plan those things out so we can help our kids get those funds and those trusts going.
Absolutely. Well, again, like, I just love, like, both of your hearts for volunteering so many hours, kind of like what we heard from Tina and Sarah earlier, and Megan and Corey. They all put so many hours. Our interns, everyone has put so many hours to make these things possible. So, guys, you would make our day. Like, we've had already people call us, and we've had people answer our calls, and Megan, how many have we gotten just tonight? Like, we're looking for 30. How many did we get already?
Yeah, just tonight we have 10 commitments, which is awesome.
Woo! All right,
yeah.
So tonight, guys, we're a third of the way.
Yeah.
33%. Let's go, let's go. Okay, so if you're watching this live, maybe you're watching this recording, maybe you're on Instagram, like, please consider joining our subscriptions. It means the world to us. Again, we're able to plan. Like we've mentioned earlier, we want to go to the Colombia and do some work with kids there. And so these things just really help us. So Megan, Corey, thank you for joining us today. You guys are the best. Let's go. So as we conclude this live, we are so excited that you've joined us. We wanted to keep it not too long. We're at like 40 minutes, so let's go.
That's perfect.
We do have something that's been brewing in the background.
We do. Also before that though, I wanted to give a shout out to everybody watching who's already subscribed, because I know a lot of people I talked to earlier and some of us talked to earlier are watching the live stream now. So thank you so much for contributing to our organization, and I'm really glad you guys got to come on and watch the live.
Yeah, so as you were watching the live, our team in the back, our producer, come on over. Aixa, come on screen.
Get out
Let's
here.
go. Aixa has been our producer for this. And then Jacob, come on over here. Jacob has been another. Aixa and Jacob are marketing interns that have been running the camera. Aixa's been keeping everyone. But they've chosen a giveaway winner.
Yes.
Okay, so when we were thinking about a giveaway winner, we wanted to make sure it was someone that was logged in, right? Okay.
So we wanted to make sure it was someone that was logged in from the very start, supporting the people. And drum roll, please, y'all.
The winner is the first one.
The winner is Hannah Johnston.
Hannah Johnston!
Woo!
Yes! So
Congrats.
Hannah, you've been watching the live, and
Yes.
the winner is going to get a free We're Valiant t-shirt.
Yes.
So Hannah, we're going to send you a t-shirt. Someone will DM you to get your info. We're so excited. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone that's watched. We are so happy. I'll let you go so you can turn off the live. But one of the biggest ways that, again, you guys can join us in this cause is consider, maybe reaching out. Maybe you want some more information. Again, like I said, Tegan, my co-founder of We Are Valiant, is available to answer questions. He wasn't on this live today, but DM us, DM me, send me a message, send us some emails. Megan, our communications manager, communicates with our donors every single month. Tina, Sarah, they make sure that we get updates from the Philippines. And then again, these subscriptions aren't just about giving donations, but you can keep up to date. You can get to know the kids. You can get to know what we're doing. And we're just so excited. So you guys are the best. Jewel, anything else that you want to say?
No, thank you guys so much for watching and being here with us tonight. And thank you to everyone for all the work they put in. So,
Woo!
you guys
Let's
did
go,
awesome.
Jewel.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll see you guys soon. Bye, guys.